Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, June 18th. I'm Karen Canfield from the Board of Selectmen, and I'm here with Jim Boudreau, our Town Administrator, to give our biweekly update on COVID stats and things going on around town. And before I turn it over to Jim, I just want to remind everybody that a week from Saturday, on June 27th at 9 a.m. will be our first ever outdoor town meeting over at the Scituate High School field. Jim can cover some of the details on that, but please plan on coming. It's we're going to try to keep the agenda as tight and short as possible so that you're not sitting in the sun, and we're also limiting our exposure to one another. So that's a week from Saturday. The Front Street closure began last weekend. Residents seem very happy. We're working out kinks with different businesses to make sure that this is beneficial to our businesses, because that's the whole point. And Jim will go over the details of that as well. And I just want to say, if you are a small business and you have a suggestion for something that the town can partner with you to help you through the crisis, please contact the town administrator's office, or you can send an email to cscituate@gmail.com. It's SEA Scituate. And we'll work with you through the town administration and the Scituate Loves Local group. And the last thing I wanted to say was to thank the Board of Health and its director, Drew Shield, who have really been doing yeoman's work to try to implement the governor's guidelines to reopening. It's a ton of heavy lifting, and the feedback that I'm getting from businesses is that they've just been really responsive and helpful with people with questions. So don't hesitate to reach out to them. And with that, I'll ask Jim for his update.
Thank you, Karen. We'll start with the COVID update. Yesterday we had an additional COVID-19 antibody case and another case at the Cardigan, so the nursing homes are still hot spots. We're still seeing cases pop up there. But in Scituate proper, the numbers still are very good. We're very happy with those. Statewide, I think the percentage of positive cases is about 2%, so that has trended downward over the last couple weeks, and that's the data that the state is looking at for the reopening phases. So keep up the good work. Again, masks are still required when you go into restaurants, when you go into places of commerce. If you're going to be in a place where you can't social distance outside, you need to wear a mask, and that includes the dog park and some of our other places. But the numbers are in a good place right now. This will be the time where we will start seeing maybe numbers go up over the next week if the reopening that we're doing is going to have an impact. So the governor's going to follow us pretty closely. He's expected to announce on Saturday whether or not we will enter Phase 2A. We don't have a lot of guidance on what Phase 2A is going to look like, except that it could entail limited access to inside dining in restaurants. So if he comes out with that on Saturday, we'll spend the weekend going through it and hopefully be ready for something on Sunday, on Monday, so that restaurants, if they can have some opening, we can be ready to answer their questions and get them going with some limited inside seating. If that happens, I would expect at some point then the board would have a conversation about the outside seating on the street and whether we want to continue doing that. I've been asked some questions about that. That's really going to depend on what the capacity is in the restaurants. Obviously, if it's 50% capacity, a restaurant is really not going to be able to survive with just 50% capacity inside. So I think we would still do some outside seating. But as we've said, and using my best bureaucratic speak, it's an emerging paradigm, and we'll keep tweaking it and checking it and making adjustments based upon what we hear back from the residents, based upon what we hear from the businesses, and based upon the guidance from the state. So this week, Front Street will be closed tonight from 4 to 8, Friday and Saturday night from 4 to 10, and Sunday from 1 to 8. It closes a little bit before that, so they have time to get the closes and the table set up. But it's a very quick process to close it and get people out there. I want to remind people that Harbor House is open, and you will actually be able to access, even though the road is closed, you will be able to access the parking in front of Harbor House for your pickups and your deliveries. We're going to tweak that a little bit, make sure that the duty officers are aware of that, because there were some cars turned away. So Harbor House is open. You can get there. It looks like it's going to be a great weekend this weekend. It's going to be hot and sunny, so please patronize our restaurants, patronize our local businesses while you're there. Get out, enjoy the nice weather, but do it safely in the manner that we've been describing all along.
Jim, before you go on, would you just outline that Parkway is open and you can get to the other stores that aren't affected with the closure? Just so people
So
know.
the closing is from Beale to Otis, which is basically from the Rockland Trust to Riva, and that road in between, that's Otis, that's open. So you would go just through Cole Parkway and come right out there and then proceed either down Front Street or up Otis. So it's only a block that's closed right now. It actually is making the traffic is pretty good. There's a nice circulation in there. The parking lots of Cole Parkway are open, so all those businesses are open. All the other parking's open. There's only that one block right in front of the galley that's closed at this point.
Great. Thank you.
Playgrounds. The sign's been up this week. We unlocked the playgrounds. We didn't announce it. We kind of did a soft opening, but I saw it on Facebook, so I know word is getting out. So the signage is up at the Purple Dinosaur. The signage is up at North Scituate. The schools are getting signage and putting them up at their playgrounds. I think the important thing we want to make sure people know, and it's on the sign, under the guidelines, we are not required to sanitize the playgrounds. We don't have the manpower or the supplies to do that. So the signs do say that the playgrounds are not sanitized. Differing opinions as to how long COVID lasts on surfaces, how long it lasts outdoors, how long it lasts in the sun. The guidance is very clear. If you go use the playgrounds, make sure you wash your hands thoroughly when you leave and when you're done. You are required to wear masks. You are required to social distance. I know that is very difficult for children, and in a playground, we ask you that you do the best you can. We will monitor the playgrounds. We'll keep an eye on them. Like the dog park, like the athletic facilities, if we see there's a problem, we'll start to limit parking. If there's still a problem, we'll have to have a discussion about closing those playgrounds altogether. So if you look at the basketball facility out behind here, behind the high school, that basketball court is still closed, even though basketball courts in the rest of the town are open, because that has been a magnet for pickup games, and those are not allowed, so we left that one locked. The other ones are open. That's the same approach we'll take with playgrounds. If we find that people can't do what they need to do, we'll have to talk about closing those back down. But they are open. Please go use them safely, follow the guidelines. I hope the kids enjoy them immensely. The playground at North Scituate, the current closing hours are dusk, but that playground will be open from 8 to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We'll have a sign up to that effect shortly. So we have a definitive closing time. It's a little difficult for the police to say, is it dusk, is it not dusk? So that'll be 8 to 8. Common sense, be safe, and I hope the kids can get out and get some fresh air and have some sun. As we talked about Tuesday night, the Board of Selectmen met Tuesday night, voted on a revised budget and a revised capital spending. Represents a 10% decrease in state aid from current year levels. The advisory board is meeting tomorrow to discuss that and vote on it. Once I have both boards, if they vote in agreement, all those documents will be posted either tomorrow or Monday, so people can have those in advance, review them for town meeting. We ask you to bring them with you to town meeting if at all possible, so we don't have to have people going in and out of boxes, handling things, but you'll have them as soon as we can put them up, along with a template on what town meeting is going to look like and how we're going to go through town meeting, so people can be prepared for that also. Town meeting's the 27th, a week from Saturday. There are 2 outdoor town meetings this weekend, Hingham and Linfield, so we'll kind of keep an eye on how those go. Hulls went very well last week. Right now, the plan is, as the board discussed, there'd be 2 consent agendas for the annual town meeting. One will be the regular consent agenda where we pass things by consent. The other will be a postponement agenda where we will take all those articles that we think should be postponed to a future town meeting and postpone them by 1 vote. And that way we do away with the time of going article by article by article. As always, the moderator will read the articles that are on each agenda. If someone objects, it comes out and it goes right back into the to-be-debated pile. But we want to get the people's work done. We want to get the budget done. We want to get the capital things done so we can operate as close to normally as possible in the next fiscal year, despite COVID and despite everything else that's going on. Water Department reminds us again that we need to conserve water. Water usage is up. All outdoor watering must occur before 9 a.m. or after 5 p.m. The Water Department has been given warnings out. I drove around with Kevin the other day, and it was 11 o'clock in the morning, and there were sprinklers going, irrigation going. So the Water Department is doing warnings. If it keeps going, we will start doing fines, which can be up to $100 a day. A reverse 911 call went out this week to that effect, so people should be able to say, Yeah, I knew it. It's going to be hard to say, no, I didn't know the rules, because we put them out, they're out.
Yeah, I got an email from Plymouth County Sheriff's on that.
That would have been the reverse 911.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
wondered
part of the
about
reverse
that.
911 system. Yep.
Yeah,
So they
okay.
do, our code red is through the Plymouth County, so we take it, we send it to them, and they have the,
Well, it got
the
my
software
attention.
set
It
it
came
out.
from the sheriff's office.
Thought you were in trouble there for a minute,
Yeah,
didn't you?
I did.
Finally, we want to remind residents about brown water. We are going into that time of year where the water usage does skyrocket anyways, the 4th of July. The water department has not received any brown water complaints recently, despite increase in flows that we're experiencing, despite the fact we had a fire at Go Green. We did a test flow one day without announcing it and got no complaints, so those are all good signs. We don't think we've cured the brown water. We think we've taken a good shot at it. So we need people's help if they have brown water. So if you have brown water, please call the water department, 781-545-8735. Email us at brownwater@scituatema.gov. Or you can go to the town website and take the water quality survey. We need that information. That's a data point for us. If you're having brown water problems, we can send people out to see what's going on, try to find out what the problem is. And we will be starting towards the end of the summer, the $3 million water pipe replacement project that will target small 2-inch lines that we know are clogged. And also we have a lot of dead-end lines where the hydrant is 600 feet from the end of the line, and we can't flush the end of that line. So we'll be installing hydrants, flushing gates, and flushing those. As I said on the radio yesterday, when we did some of those last year, we put in some flushing gates. We flushed the ends of some of these cul-de-sacs, and the water that was coming out was not pretty, to say the least. So some of those pipes haven't been flushed in 40, 50 years because they can't be. So this project will bring a lot of relief to small neighborhoods, small streets, and places where we haven't been able to get in and clean the pipes. So if you have brown water, please let us know so we can put it on our data points. We'll be able to tell, doesn't need to be flushed, or this is a place we can just get back to and say, this is on our list for the summer, we're going to correct that, and should be good going forward. But good first start. 4th of July is the barometer, and that's in a couple weeks. So we ask people to keep up the good work. As I said yesterday on the call with the Chamber of Commerce, your grandmother was right. Cover your mouth when you sneeze, wash your hands, and if you're sick, stay home. Those are still the guidelines that we're operating by. And if you're out and about, wear your mask, patronize our local businesses, and again, as I keep saying, we'll get through this. It's getting better. Hopefully we'll go to Phase 2A, and then we'll go to Phase 3 sometime after that.
Great. Thanks, Jim. I just want to note that when you came on board a little over 2 years ago, our biggest problem was the brown water situation, and the amount of progress that's been made in such a short time is a real tribute to the commitment of town officials and our water department and engineering staff. So, thank you for addressing
The
that.
selectman said fix it.
Thank you for listening.
The water department came up with the plans. The town meeting appropriated the funds, and we've been doing everything we can to fix that. So, thanks to the selectmen for the leadership. Thanks to the town meeting for the support. And this next phase, again, will make a big difference to a lot of isolated little spots where we just can't fix it because of the nature of the system that's in the ground. We have to replace that system. So we'll get this done. The green sand filter starting, that's going to take the iron and manganese that's going into the system out. So, again, it's not over. We'll get the system clean. We want to get to the point where if there's brown water, it's because we know something happened. There was a major break, there was a fire, but people should not have to live with brown water on a daily basis just because they turn their faucets on. And that's what we're looking to get rid of.
All right. And now we turn our attention to the current crisis, which is recovering from the impacts of COVID. And so the last thing I just want to tell people is keep an eye out on social media and on the Scituate website. There's a new initiative starting next week. It's a Scituate Loves Local box sale, and they're sponsored by local community groups. So next week will be a Taste of Ireland, and if you purchase one of these boxes, you will be supporting 3 different restaurants, their gift certificates, Hennessy News, a Luck of the Irish scratch ticket, and a bunch of other fun things that you can see on the Scituate Loves Local stuff. Boxes are $50. There's more than $50 worth of merchandise, and it gives us an opportunity to highlight and support our local businesses. If you don't want to buy one, you can like the businesses and share their contact information. That will help them with online sales. And, you can always just go down and go into the stores now. So support local. Thank you for everybody. We will be back on Monday morning.
One thing
Yeah.
that you touched on, any local businesses, people that are watching or that follow this, if you have an idea, let us know. I don't like government telling a business how to run its business. If you have an idea that you think might work, let us know, and we'll try to help any way we can. The directive from the board is to be helpful to business, be helpful to residents. So if you have an idea that you think might work, like the closing of Front Street that we did, let us know, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. So please, local businesses, reach out to me, reach out to Drew Shealy, the health agent. He's always going to get back to you, and we'll see what we can to help you get through this maze of guidelines and guidance that we're getting from the state.
Great. All right. Thank you, everybody, and Jim as well. We'll see you Monday morning at 9:30 for the next update.